Welcome to the podcast.
We're good, Kike.
Welcome to the pod. Welcome. Thanks for all the love that you've shown on the last few episodes.
It's been terrific.
It's been great.
It's been overwhelming.
The Facebook group's been good. You've all spoken. Pat and I will be put in drag in the next few weeks.
No, we won't be. That's something we're going to discuss further down the line.
Okay.
We're not getting put on drag for an episode anyway.
We have a guest. And this guest gave birth to, well, you didn't actually give birth to me. He was in jail when I was born. But he...
That's a true story.
But he put his seed in my mother. And she gave birth to me. It's my dad, Jeremy.
Welcome. It's very nice to be part of this podcast. I thought you'd do a bit more of an introduction like they do on Smartless, where I get about 5 minutes before you introduce me.
I
but
think
that's okay.
let's go one. We'll go one for one.
You should learn from the best podcast, biggest podcast in the world. You should learn off those guys that they take a little while before they introduce the guest.
All right, we'll go. We'll go one
you've
for
done
one.
it now.
No,
so I'm
we're going to fucking do it.
We'll
You
do
can't
it.
tell us what to do. I'm going to
Now,
go
I want to
again.
correct about being in jail when you were born, by the way, because that wasn't the case.
Well, then go on.
I will say, though, when you were born, it was a long birth. It was probably 23 hours for Mum. That's because you had a big fat head that wouldn't come out. But I remember it was in London, in Chelsea Hospital. And I remember...
Like an history lesson.
Yeah, holy shit.
Did you want me on the podcast or not, Pat?
Look, talking to the mic.
So, what was the date, William? It was
November 7th.
Yeah, 1998.
Yes.
Very good year, that. Anyway,
You speak like Trump.
I was working then in London, just for anyone else who wants to know that. But what happened was that it took a long time for William to come out, so I actually went back to work. I was working as an accountant, and I had to go back and do the budget for an oil
We don't
and
need
gas
that
company
deep.
in Woking.
Mate, seriously.
Anyway,
Half the
when
audience is
I
fuckers.
came back after going back to work to do the budget, she still hadn't come out. And so I had to hold Danny up while they put an epidural in her back, and I fainted when the needle went in her back.
Why?
Oh, it was just full on. So I had to sit in the beanbag in the same room that you were born. And then because you were 2 weeks late, and so when you came out, you had poo. You'd been eating your own poo
Oh my God.
for 2 weeks.
That explains
And
a
things
little bit,
haven't
actually. That
changed.
explains
Things
it.
haven't changed. You're still talking shit.
Oh. Was that the
wow.
joke? There you go.
No, it wasn't a
The
joke.
world's most long-winded joke.
Well, can I
It
say
wasn't a
this?
joke, but you actually had shit, and you are still talking shit. But anyway,
What? Sorry, I'm going to interject. What did you do when I was in a pram in my first week of life?
well, we had these interesting prams. I'm not sure what it was called. It was called
We don't need to know the pram, but what did you do?
Well, the pram was quite. It was a bit fickle to deal with, in the sense of you had a little carry thing that you clipped onto the pram. And I remember trying to get it off, and the pram just went, the carry thing just went flipped, and you smashed on your head really, really bad. And this woman, I was going into the unit. This is in London. I tell you were born in London.
Chelsea.
And in Chelsea. And this woman looked at me in horror, and she must have thought, fuck, how is that kid going to turn out? Anyway.
Biggest
it had
podcast in Australia.
had an impact. It will be the biggest podcast after this episode.
So you're my dad, and I guess, what do you think of Pat?
Well,
And feel free to speak
I could speak of what I feel about both of you, in the sense that both of you don't have a proper job. As William may have not told you, well, he hasn't told, I trained as a chartered accountant, and your age, I'd already been working for 4 years in a large accounting firm.
What a
That's
shit
depressing
show.
as
That's
fuck,
fucking
mate.
awful.
That's shit.
And Pat, what do I think of Pat? I think he's a lovely guy, but he needs to get a career and he needs to start settling down. He's a lovely guy. I don't like his tattoos. They're fucking terrible. His heart's in the right place. He could probably lose a bit of weight. He's a bit of a fat.
You can say
You
it.
can swear.
No, I don't want to swear, just in case someone's listening that's important related to mine.
No one that
who
listens to this is important.
Anyway, he could lose a bit of weight and he could get a proper job.
You know
But
what
I
he used to
do
do?
like Pat. I do like Pat. I think he's good. I wish he'd turn over and start following the Seagulls, but that's okay. I believe this podcast is sponsored by the Seagulls. Is that right? Yeah.
Well, Pat used to do ketamine at his old job at the airport, and he'd load the bags onto the planes.
What do you mean by that? Pat,
I used to work at the airport.
Right.
I used to be an electrician. I used to work at the airport. I dabbled in a few things,
Yeah.
and you just settled straight for accounting.
So do you reckon there's guys who still are working in the airport that you worked for?
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, some are in jail for
Right.
importing meth.
Do you reckon there was a bit of that going on at the airport?
Yeah, I worked with the people who just got done.
Right.
I think a lot of them kind of settle in there, yeah. Kind of like you in accounting. You get your job and you just
Well,
settle.
I'm not an accountant anymore, so I didn't settle in there, Pat. I
You did for a
moved on
good-
to bigger things,
Whoa.
but at least I established my career early on. How old are you now, Pat?
25.
Right. Have you got savings?
No.
Right.
You don't have any savings?
No, I do.
How much?
I don't know at the moment because that's in my other bank.
Less than $5,000?
Yeah, because I just bought a new car.
Well, so you bought a new car.
Yeah.
I saw that car the other day.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, since I'm fucking nearly asleep to Jeremy's fucking monotone fucking monologue is just riddled off, I've got a story about what happened to my old car. A nice Toyota Hilux that I fucking saved and saved and saved.
Oh, that's right.
And I kitted it out. I fucking got it all blacked out. I got new tires on it. I got a fucking Mad Dude bull bar on it. Like I really
That was
put
the
in
end
my
of the old
life
Jeremy.
fucking savings into this. And I'm at Will's farm in Bowral. And for those who don't know, Jeremy's a recovering alcoholic. And
How many years sober?
3 years and about 4 months.
And I'll tell you what, he wasn't fucking sober on this day. And he decides to take the bins out on the farm. And speaking of fat cunts, he decides to drive to the bins because he couldn't fucking walk there. And all I hear is a big fucking crash. And Jeremy stumbles into the house and goes, Pat, I'm so sorry. I've just smashed into your car. And I walk outside and my fucking driver's door is dented in.
I don't think it was really
It
that
was.
bad.
You couldn't. Every time I opened it, it made a loud explosion noise because the metal was clanked.
Right.
And you said, send me the invoice. And I said, don't worry about it, mate. You got bigger issues on your plate at the moment.
Well, I appreciate that, Pat.
Yeah.
You can still send me the invoice.
This can be the debt. You wanted to get paid for this podcast. We can wipe the debt off.
Well,
And
it depends.
We'll call it even.
Well, it depends.
On what?
Does this podcast depend on the number of hits you get? Or?
Yeah.
Right. So can you explain a bit about podcasting to me? And
Sure.
how it works and how you get paid through podcasting?
Through our Patreon, where people pay extra to get
Right.
bonus episodes, through brands advertising on our podcast.
Right. So would I be a bonus episode or not? Or am I
You
made
will be
through?
after.
I think you will be after. So we're going to do a bonus one after this.
Right, so more of me.
Yeah, more of you.
Goes for another 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 to 30 minutes.
I have a question to ask you, Dad.
Yes, William.
Do you remember when I was in year 7 and I got 36% on a maths assignment and you rolled up the exam and chased me up the stairs and I hid under Charlotte's bed and you dragged me out and beat me up with the exam? Do you remember that?
I sort of remember that, yeah. You're a little prick back then because we paid a lot of money for you to go to an expensive private school.
One of the most
36 grand a
expensive in the
year.
country.
Well, it's probably more than that, and you didn't appreciate it. And,
I did.
well, you didn't. Who gets 36%? I've never, ever failed a test.
I got 20%.
You
in
did
English.
Never,
fail a test?
ever failed
You failed
an
a fucking
exam.
drink driving test, mate, when you got pulled over by the fucking cops. How's that for a test failure? How's that for a test?
I've never failed a test at school.
Okay.
So that was taking the piss. You're lucky I didn't do more to you then, because starting a podcast, there's no future in that at all. And I don't know what you think, how long. People are going to get sick of this very quickly.
Say that to our boss over there who's made a thriving career out of it.
Boss, Dad thinks your career's full of shit, mate.
Well, I think...
He went to Scots?
but I think he's doing things a little bit differently.
Why?
Because if I look around the room, he's got multiple podcasts running at the same time. So his plan is that he will keep relevant podcasts going and turn them over very quickly. So am I right in saying that your boss not only has his studio, but has all these other different podcasts going at once, which is very smart. And if you guys with more could work it out more, you'd realise that what he's doing is he's turning people over quickly. So after about a year, he'll go, right, we've had enough of what this podcast calls, which is you wouldn't, and he's going to flick you, and he's going to put punters and dribblers in here. Sitting
Punters and dribblers is not... Okay, yeah, sure.
Which is what
Do you understand what he's doing?
I get it. He's going to get us
That's
out.
his model. His model is at your short term. So, Pat, I hope you know what you're going to do after this.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that boss?
Are you going back to the airport?
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not going to chase... I don't know what I'm going to do. But speaking of being flicked... A love story. You got flicked by Will's mother for a little bit, I believe.
Well, I was about to bring that up.
You chased her across Europe. Tell us about that little love story. She turned you over real quick for a period there.
She wanted to go root the house down in Europe.
I've turned her over a few times too.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God.
No, I didn't mean it in that. See, this is where you go to the extra level below. What I'm saying is we both had a break, okay? But it was a time when we both needed to spend time apart, and we're stronger for it.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, you can.
Is it true that she broke up with you but then kept living at your parents' house?
Yes.
Rent-free?
Yes.
Do you reckon she rooted other blokes in there?
I'm not going to answer that question, would you?
I'll say that.
What? I want to know. How did you feel
Why
about
don't you ask your mother about that?
I will. We'll get her on the pod next.
Well, you should get Mum on the pod. I think she'd be a lot better than I am.
You speak like Trump a little bit.
Do I?
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to win the election, Pat?
I couldn't give a fuck.
I don't know.
No, it's going to have an impact on you.
I couldn't. It's not going to impact Pat Clifton at all.
Right.
Nothing about it's going to impact me.
Why do you say that?
Because it's just whoever runs that country isn't going to impact Pat Clifton at all.
What if they decide, all right, we're in office, the first thing we're going to do, everyone with family tattooed on their ankles is getting shot in the face?
Then I'm gone. I'd be first shot, I dare say.
Yeah, you'd be gone.
Do I get to pick who pulls the trigger?
Yeah.
I'd let you pull it, Jeremy.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I have another question, Dad.
Yeah.
Is it true that you went to get a kebab and when you got in the car you were so drunk and the cop came and asked, well, you can tell the yarn if it's a true yarn.
Anyway, we don't need to talk about my old story.
And the cop said, do you have your license on you? And you said, mate, I'm so pissed I don't even reckon I could find it. Is that true?
Could have been. I don't know. They were the old days, and some fond memories in there, but that probably wasn't a fond memory, but we moved on from that. Yeah.
Well, you've done very well to turn your life around, Jeremy.
Thank you, Pat.
Now, you've got two beautiful kids.
Yes.
This is an honest question.
Yes.
This isn't jokingly.
Yeah.
When Will came out as gay,
yes,
don't smirk.
Right.
Don't smirk. This is serious. What was your first reaction? Like, what was the I'm Will. I'm gay. What was the first thought?
Well, you put your head on the table.
Very surprised because I didn't pick it up. Where I think if you had a son, I've got to be really careful what I say here.
Flamboyant.
No, well, I've got to be very careful because I know how people are these days. You say the wrong thing, you get in trouble.
No one cares about you enough to get you in trouble.
Right, okay. But William didn't come across as being gay.
I agree.
And in fact, he used to have a crush on the girl up the street. What was her name?
Yes.
He used to have a crush on her. So I don't understand. He had a crush on her. He had one of his other mates from Scott's come out just before him.
Yes.
And I thought, oh, okay. They both went and did a stand-up competition together.
Yes.
He got knocked out, his mate, and William went through and he won the final.
No big deal.
Against a guy. There was another guy, wasn't there? There was a gay Indigenous guy who came first with you as well.
I love the details you give in stories.
And then we all went off to Melbourne for the comedy festival. And William performed there as well.
Bombed my dick off in front of 1,500 people.
Didn't do too well in the final.
Told an Anne Frank joke.
But back to your point about what my feeling was when William first came out. I mean, obviously it was a shock because he didn't come across as someone who was gay. I was proud of him for coming out, and I think it's important that people come out. Unlike what Charlotte said, Charlotte Gibb said, you two were so, you didn't talk to William for two weeks. You were really, you came across as really homophobic. You didn't take it very well. You're such bad parents.
Oh my God.
And that's what Charlotte said.
Well, Mum's first comment to me was, are you just going to go out and party and take drugs all weekend?
No, she didn't
She
say
did.
that.
She did.
And that's what he does.
And then you called Gus Murray, who's been on the podcast.
No, I didn't call Gus.
Yeah, you did.
What did I say to Gus?
You said, William's gay. How do I handle this? Which is good. You were trying to be a good
bottle of
dad.
vodka. Bottle of vodka and a kebab.
And a one-way ticket to Pat's passenger door. Oh, Lord.
Would you like to understand more about me at all than what I've done over the years?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about swimming.
What do you mean?
Well, I'd like to talk about your, like, because can I ask you, can I be really real with you? And I'm not, this isn't podcast content. I want to have a chat with my dad.
Yeah.
So, obviously you did not grow up with the dream of being an accountant. That there had to have been a dream. And I'm wondering, was there some point at school, Pat's fucking distracting us all. Just say it, mate.
Can I have one of those drinks? No, is there another lime one? Oh, thanks, dude.
What is that drink? Can I just, it looks,
Liquid death.
what is liquid death?
It's water.
Just soda water. You want to try some?
No, I doubt there's probably something in there that'll turn me off. I'll jump into the car and go ballistic. Watch out, Sid. This guy's had liquid death and he's behind the wheel.
Here he is, Gibb. He's starting to get comfortable.
Okay, well, there is
Buckle in.
There goes the sponsorship deal.
So what does liquid death,
No, fuck him. They're not sponsored us. We're not giving them another fucking word of airtime.
It's just fucking sparkling water.
Have a sip.
no, I'm very worried about sipping anything that says called liquid death.
Yeah.
Okay, back to my point before Pat distracted us.
Yes, William?
Going through high school, clearly you would have had some sort of dream, whether it be a sportsman, whatever it was. Was there anything that you thought, I want to try this? Or was there so much pressure from your dad to do accounting that you didn't even give anything else a go? Because you were a good sportsman.
Because your dad was also an accountant.
So my grandfather was an accountant, Richard, who I never really met. He was from Scotland. So I'm going to give a bit of detail here because how long have we got?
Mate, you tell me.
Okay, so my
Get another liquid.
great-grandfather...
Oh, fuck.
All right, okay, hang on. I've got to interject. I have to interject.
No,
We don't need the fucking family tree.
You've asked a question and I'm going to answer it.
I said, did you have a fucking dream growing
Did you
up?
have a dream?
Anyway, I don't know.
We asked how do you feel
It's
when Bill
quite
was gay and you
funny,
got
we
onto
had-
the fucking Melbourne Comedy Festival somehow, and now we're in fucking... Did you have a dream growing up and we're in fucking Scotland?
There's a
For
friend
some
of...
fucking old cunt.
There's a friend of Mum's. I don't want to say who she is, but she's an older woman that's desperate to have a partner,
Oh, God.
So her first partner she had for a few years, he asked her, can I borrow 80 grand for the weekend?
For the weekend? Where was this cunt going?
And he ended up taking 5 years to pay her back. So she had to stick around for him until she paid back the 80 grand. And then he went out with another guy after that, and it lasted about 3 or 4 weeks. And when we went out, he came over. He had no shoes on. He had really long toenails, uncut toenails.
Bit of a yahoo.
How gross is that? Do you cut your toenails?
No, I
Pat?
bite mine.
You bite your toenails?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Just like this.
Bullshit,
serious?
Pat.
Yeah. I
You
bite my
can bite,
toenails
so you
off.
don't use clippers?
Nah, I bite them.
You serious?
Yeah. Serious.
Hang on, did you have a fucking dream in school or not, cunt? We're talking about fucking...
But I'm getting back to that. Did you do that?
Do I bite them? Yeah.
Or what about your pinky toenail?
No, I just pick them.
You pick it, so you don't use...
Clippers, no.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
What about your pubes? How do you do those again?
Veet hair removal or just a shaver?
Because I want to talk to you about that quickly, and then I'll go back to this girl.
All right,
and
talk
this
to me.
guy.
And then go back to the fucking...
What
did you
happened?
have a fucking dream?
So, I don't really... I've started to do a little bit of manscaping.
Fuck, so you
Not
never
for,
used to
not
shave your
for
pubes?
sexual reasons, just to... It actually keeps you a bit cleaner. You know what I mean?
So how long did your pubes used to be?
Well, growing up in our generation, mate, we didn't really manscape.
Oh, you're a bush.
Everyone just, So,
Mum's on the...
it's a little bit... What's Mum doing? Anyway, so it is actually, once you do it, it's actually a little bit cleaner. And this morning, I don't know if you've been in the bathroom this morning, William, because fucking William's living at home, by the way, which is a joke. When are you moving out, by the way?
Just
William?
fucking get back to the...
cunt.
Anyway, I did a bit of manscaping this morning,
Fucking whippy snipper.
and it was everywhere, and I had to sort of... Anyway, it's still probably a bit everywhere, so I had better get home soon. Anyway, I just nicked myself,
Yeah.
and there was a bit of bleeding.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, you know how you've got there's a big vein that runs through your main vein, there's a vein.
I didn't know that, no.
On
There
your
is.
cock.
If you clip that, I imagine if you clip that deeply, you'd be in all sorts of trouble.
Okay.
So I was just wondering, do you have a call in line or not here? Do people call in?
Yeah.
Like Talkback radio?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No. They got to call back like
They're
next
not listening
episode.
now.
It's not live.
Oh, so it's not like we're live?
No.
Okay. So this defeats the purpose of this conversation. But my point was, have you heard of any really bad manscaping injuries in your time through your mates and stuff? Because it just...
No, the
touches-
most you hear is during sex your banjo string snaps.
No, what's that mean?
So you know how you got the
Frenulum.
the string that connects your foreskin and your knob, kind of like
Right.
that snaps sometimes in sex.
That's not what I'm referring to.
Yeah, I
We
haven't
know
heard any
that.
bad
That is
stories.
not... It's like...
Yeah, but I haven't heard
Pat,
any bad stories.
Fuck. See, Pat, you've got to listen to what
No,
I'm talking
I
about.
fucking have
No,
listened to 8
listen.
stories in the last 2 fucking minutes.
Pat,
And I know one's cut themselves deep enough that they've nearly bled
it's
out
like
from their
shaving.
penis.
Have you cut yourself shaving?
Yes.
So you must hear of a lot of guys that cut themselves manscaping. Have you heard that?
No, not really. Sometimes you get a little slice, a little cut,
Right. Okay. I'm just interested.
but no
Okay.
bad ones.
Could you see if you could get people to call in and ask?
Sure.
They
about
will right now.
The hotline for next week, guys. Have you had a bad shaving injury?
manscaping injury.
Manscaping injury.
Or
Shaving your
womanscaping.
pubes.
Imagine the lip of your vag.
Anyway, so back to this guy with the long toenails.
Imagine
So this-
clipping your cunt.
Oh, William, please don't use that language. So let's go back to the long nail guy with
And
the
then
long
will we
nails.
go back to if you
So the
had
guy
a dream
that owed
growing
the
up?
$85,000 took ages to pay back.
Yeah.
Then we have this guy who's got long nails and ended up, he was living in a 1-bedroom place and anyway, ended up being, I think he was an alcoholic. So that was the next boyfriend.
Takes one to know one.
I hope she's not listening to this.
Does this friend of mum's maybe have a child?
No. She's got a child, but they're older children. It's none of one of... Who did you think it was?
Well, I think you know from that question.
I know.
No, not a young child.
Yeah.
Children in their 20s. So she brought this new boyfriend over for dinner.
Wait.
Hello? I'll get it.
Who is it?
Could be a delivery man. More liquid death.
More liquid death for you, Jeremy.
Holy shit.
Shit, man.
Oh, some more liquid death delivered in.
Pat, you're going to have to do that.
So I really hope this lady who I really like doesn't hear this, but, you know, it's unfortunate when you're in your 50s and 60s as a woman trying to find, probably as a man too, trying to find the right partner.
It was almost
longer
you.
term. But it is me. Anyway. Oh, no, not. But what I mean is this guy, this new partner came over and he started talking about how he'd grown up. He spent the whole night talking about himself. He had pictures of his great-grandfather on the phone. He was showing us all night about his life history and where he grew up in the country and how his father and great-grandfather and all of them, not father, but a great-grandfather had gone off to war, had photos of him in the war, and that's all he spoke about that night. Anyway, we all, you know, we listened basically. And then the next day,
His podcast.
the woman rang up Danny and said, "Oh shit, I'm a bit embarrassed by his behaviour last night." And Danny said, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." Anyway, I hope it works out for her. But you know those people.
What? Jeremy, sorry, excuse my language. What the fuck does that have to do with did you have a dream growing up?
I'm coming back to that now.
Really? Okay, bring it back then. Let's see how you bring that back.
Because
Brad
you
Shepherd
asked me
podcast.
about a dream growing up. So I was explaining my great-grandfather, and when I was explaining about my great-grandfather, I thought about this bloke on the weekend, so I had to tell that story, okay?
Right, so let's go back to your great-grandfather.
Sorry, not great-grandfather. My grandfather came over from Scotland, Dad's dad, in the 30s. He was a very good golfer and he lived at Newcastle. He was the club champion of Newcastle. His name was Richard and he was an accountant. And then my father, who I love very much, who recently passed away and I miss him a lot, he was called Richard and he was a chartered accountant. Now, although I wasn't called Richard, I think I just fell into accounting.
You're a bit of a dick.
So did I have dreams of being anything else? No, I thought I admired my father a lot. So I thought what his career was like is something that I wouldn't mind doing, and which I started doing. And I got a job through one of his mates at a large firm. Back then you could get jobs through the old school Thai network. So
Did you have a dream? You were a great swimmer.
My point was that now I wouldn't get a job with a large accounting firm like that because it's so much based on strong academics and all of that, which is back then it was more about who you knew to get the job.
Thank God. So the corruption's gone and all the miserable old cunts that
So a
would
little
suck
bit more.
ass.
Anyway, so that was, and then I just fell into what I do now.
So you weren't swimming and going, because you were a state champion, you didn't think,
I
wanna
wasn't
be
a state champion. I may have told you I was a state champion, but now that we're in public forum, that was actual bullshit.
So were you good at anything?
Well, I was in the second 15 for rugby,
So no.
and I was in the second 11 for cricket, and we won the cricket comp. And I opened the batting and the bowling, and I was in the second for rugby.
And you went to Kings, yeah?
And I went to Kings.
Yeah, nice.
Right. I've got some questions for you, and they're quick. When none of this ramble shit.
Right.
I want to know, because I just want to know a bit about myself.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you my
Well, I can
traits.
tell you one thing about yourself that you've inherited from me, definitely.
Tight
and that is
foreskin.
your diet is as bad as mine. You eat so much shit food.
That's what I've got there.
And,
My
and
fussy
the problem is, I'm not a fussy. I eat vegetables and stuff at least. But having you at home, I'm trying to get off sugar and shit. And you said to me about a month ago, I'm going to get really fit. I'm going to eat really good shit. Every time I come home, what is at home is bags of Uber Eats, bags of lollies, bags of biscuits.
Yeah, but the Uber Eats is off.
You
It's
seen his
chicken
bags
breast.
of cocaine yet?
Well, I don't think William does that sort of stuff.
Okay, no, I don't. Where did I get? I want to know this. Where did I get my sense of humor from?
Mum.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Where did I get my love of movies from?
Me and Mum, but I don't know why you don't like TV shows rather than movies.
I like some TV shows. Love of football, Pa.
Well, love of football and sport, yeah, Pa.
And then the last one is where did I get my autism?
Me.
Because I think I'm full-blown tismed as fuck.
Yeah, that's from me.
We're autistic, cunt. And I
You
think we should both get a
probably
test.
got it from me and James, Uncle James.
I was going to say.
Yeah, Uncle James. I think we should go get an autism test, cunt. Because we're fucked.
What?
I stress over the smallest shit.
I've got over that because I've stopped drinking. When I used to drink, I used to stress.
I'm going to the
over
movies tomorrow night.
Right.
I'm stressing about whether or not it'll be too packed and whether or not we're going to get there on time. And it's a movie and it's tomorrow.
Right.
And I'm worrying about it.
Right.
I'm going, if we get there at a certain time, what if I book at this, should I go to this session because it'll be quieter? Will there be, is school holidays going to affect da-da-da? That's what I think about.
Maybe you got that Alpha Uncle James. Who knows?
Stressful. But I can't smoke dope because then I get anxious.
Right.
Do you smoke dope?
No. I'm clean, mate. I'm a
Have you ever
recovering
done
alcoholic.
Have you ever done drugs?
Yes.
What type?
A bit. I wasn't a big drug person at school, but I do remember going to a party when I was in 21st and these guys had an acid tablet and I took an acid tablet
Whoa.
and they said, you better come home with us. The guys who took the acid tablet, they said, you better come home with us. We've all got to be together. And I went home with Mum. We're living at Brown Street in Paddington. And we had a little dog called Rupert, which was a Cocker Spaniel.
I remember Rupert.
No, you weren't alive when Rupert was.
Yes, I was.
No, you weren't, I don't think.
I absolutely was. I met Rupert. 100%. It
you
was
meet-
DeBarb and Pa's dog.
No, it was our dog.
No, Rupert. I met Rupert 100 times.
Okay. Anyway,
So you would have fucking done acid while I was born, mate.
no, this was...
Mate, Rupert was Barb and Pa's dog.
It may have not been Rupert. It may have
wouldn't have
been
been
one of
Rupert.
our dogs. Anyway, I was about 21 at the time, so you were definitely not born, unless I've got my maths wrong. And I remember taking the dog for a walk down to Rushcutters Bay with just my boxer shorts on at about 4 a.m. And yeah, and I had a buzzing sensation in my head for about 3 days, like a bee in my head for 3 days.
Oh.
It was the worst. So anyone listening out there, say no to drugs.
Good on you, Jeremy.
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially psychedelics.
Right. Have you done a trip, Brad? Brad. Sorry, I'm just being with Brad. Oh, shit.
Fucking hell, nearly turned into Will for a second.
Have you done a trip before?
Yeah. I've done magic mushrooms a few times.
How many bags did you eat? Tell Dad on your trip to Bali.
I had a really bad experience on magic mushrooms.
Right.
And that time I had 5 packets.
No, in total,
In total, only 9.
9 bags of mushrooms.
So what's that do to you, Pat?
Fucking ruins
Give
your
me
life.
chronic anxiety for the rest of my life. Panic attacks every day.
I think it does. I think you've got to be really careful.
No, it did.
It destroyed his life.
It did.
Because there's
Yeah,
a lot
it
of
did.
people, you hear stories of people who take a big drug and it
Yeah.
really stuffs them up.
Yeah, I know.
So, gummies,
Yeah, weed gummies.
well, they come in all sorts of...
I'm not sure. I haven't taken drugs in years. I'm well out of that game. I've got
Vaping.
no idea.
Pat quit vaping.
You've quit vaping, Pat.
Yeah,
You've got responsibilities in your life now.
I do.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a genuine question, Dad?
Well, do you want to ask Pat a question first? I've had enough questions at the moment. Fucking hell. How many questions? Can I ask you, Blake, some questions?
Yeah, please.
Fucking pipe up
Go.
then. Go on.
So, William, how's your love life?
Good.
Ooh, that's huge.
It's good.
Is it? Are you still seeing, am I allowed to say on
Yeah,
air?
gigs.
Yeah.
Are you still seeing Charlie?
No.
Is that over?
We're not. It's over, yeah.
Right, okay.
But it's not over. We're just friends. But we're not.
I bet his parents said, you're only 19. What are you doing going out with an old creepy 25-year-old? What do you reckon? I reckon that was probably influenced by... Who dropped who? He dropped you, obviously.
No.
No, I think it was.
It was a bit
I think
of
it was
like
a
a-
mutual. I think
About a week ago, you were going to take him to Hawaii for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know.
The
Things
full
changed,
details
mate.
are in last week's Patreon. We won't get into it right now.
Things changed.
What do you mean?
Things
Is this in
changed.
the bonus episode?
Yeah, we
So
had a
if you
deep
want to hear
dive.
more, tune into the bonus episode,
Yeah.
which is sponsored by Death Water.
Liquid death. Cunt.
Liquid death.
You're good. You're a good salesman.
You are good.
No, but genuine question: who's your favourite out of me and Charlotte?
Charlotte.
No.
No, seriously, Charlotte.
Why?
Because she got on with her life.
Well,
She's
I did.
disciplined. She's hardworking. She cleans up after herself. She doesn't eat crap food. She's not messy.
She goes through boys like they're Doritos.
Well, not really. She's settled down and she's had some very nice boyfriends, actually.
She's had one nice boyfriend.
Well, I've liked all her boyfriends.
I liked Billy a lot.
Yeah, and all the others too.
Can't remember them. One of them was called Jeremy.
No.
Yes?
Jack.
No,
No,
fucking
one of
Jeremy,
them was
mate. One of
called
them was called Jez.
Oh, that guy. I remember him.
So she's been
She
wailing
has had a lot of
Jeremy.
boyfriends, hasn't she? When I
Yes.
think about
Good
it.
on her. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
It's good. Absolutely. You don't want to be, just for everyone who's still dating and on, seeing people, please, you don't want to spend 5 or 6 years in your 20s seeing someone and then get married and then be unhappy by 32. So if you're in your 20s, play around a little bit.
You got
and
married
then
at-
find someone at the end.
You got married at 25.
28, we got married and we had a break. So we did it the right way.
Okay, another question.
Yeah.
Were you very worried about my future?
I'm still very worried about your future.
You haven't seen his bank account, obviously.
Well, it's not. I don't think there's much there, Pat.
Oh, I've seen it, Jeremy.
Well, I don't think you should be talking like that on the podcast anyway.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry.
But
my bad. No, that's my
If there
fault.
is
No,
money
no,
there,
that's my fault.
if there is
No, no,
money,
I'm
if
sorry.
there is a bit of money there,
Sorry
he needs
about
to
that.
buy a unit.
No.
Yes, William. You need to settle down and buy a unit.
I'm going to buy a mansion.
You just told everyone in their 20s to go fucking live a little. Now you're telling him to settle down.
well,
You want him to go get railed on
No,
the weekend or
that-
fucking settle
too-
down in an apartment?
see, this is where you've got to have 2 ears, Pat, and listen. What I said was,
Sorry if you've got one ear, everyone at home. Jeremy thinks you're a dumb cunt
what I'm saying, Pat,
and a freak.
Patrick,
Freaky one ear.
is
Sorry.
that I said from a point of view of relationships, people often make the mistake of having a too serious relationship for too long in their 20s and then they're unhappy in their 30s. So that was around that. That's nothing to do if you've got excess cash in your 20s, then you should try and invest it in buying a unit if you can.
Okay, sorry then again.
Yeah, that's all right.
Do you know gay terminology?
No,
Do you know what a twink is?
I don't think I need to go there.
You know what
Do I-
gaping is?
What?
That's not gay terminology, mate.
Gaping.
I know that your stand-up comedy was good that night we did. Remember Pat's stand-up
It was
night?
shit.
It was good,
was
but Jeremy
so
won.
bad.
Jeremy beat me and I came second.
Yeah.
He was awful, wasn't he?
Well, all you talked about was being plugged.
No, one of my
Pegged,
skits
pegged,
was
pegged.
one of my skits was how someone asked me if I wanted to get pegged, and that was the skit. That was.
So do you
that
want to
was-
talk through the
that was
skit
2
again?
minutes.
Can you just remind me of the skit?
That was 2 minutes.
No, but can you remind me of the story?
Yeah, the comedy, so it's all put on.
Ladies and gentlemen,
No, I don't remember
let's
it.
go through the whole.
I don't
Yeah,
remember.
let's go
it.
through
One
the
of
whole
them-
thing.
Through it.
One of them was about
Okay,
how.
Ladies
Pat.
and gentlemen, would you welcome to the stage Patrick Clifton?
Thank you. One of my skits, the first one, was about...
No,
I don't know. I don't remember it.
Go, hello, audience.
Just say yes.
How are you? Like when I said to
Hello,
mine,
Clavelli
hi,
Hotel.
no,
How
my
are we
name's...
doing?
Yeah.
How are we? Blah, blah, blah. I started off with, thank you all for being here and supporting charity. I know what it's like to be part of a minority group. Up until the Apple iPhone invented the 0.5 zoom out camera, I could never take a dick pic. That was my opening line.
Crushed.
And I spoke about something about pegging
Yeah.
and how it would be weird for a 6'4" guy to be pegged. It just wouldn't feel natural. And then I spoke about being broke. And then I can't remember what else I spoke about.
Fail.
I don't want to talk more about, what did you say about the pegging story?
Someone asked me, would you ever
Did
do
you
it?
say what my parents are here, what would they be thinking of the noise upstairs?
No, I said... Oh, I can't remember. All I said was someone asked if I wanted to be pegged, and I was like, absolutely not. And then I went into detail of why I wouldn't want to do it and why it would be such a weird thing for a 6-foot guy to be getting pegged. It'd be very like, imagine a small girl pegging a big guy. That was kind of the joke.
Right. Yeah, no,
Anyway,
I
it got me
remember it being
second
quite
place.
amusing.
Got me second place.
Now, Dad, we're going to do another one in January.
Right.
Now, someone in this studio
Yeah.
is going to have to do it, and I'm going to allow you to point them out. And whoever Dad decides is fucking doing it. So you've got Willie, Kyle, Ed, Cody, and
I reckon
Tobler.
you've got to do the boss, don't you? Who's screwing you?
Boss.
I think Boss fucked off.
Oh,
Right.
there you go.
The boss is going to kick you guys out in about 2 months when you...
After this
He's
fucking
been
podcast,
used.
absolutely.
Do we have anything to get up on the screen that we need to get up?
No.
Nothing.
I wanted to just come back to something, Pat,
Yes.
quickly if I could. And I've forgotten my train of thought now.
It's all right. That happens all the time. I've got to think.
What's going to happen to Mum a lot more? You've got to be prepared for that with Mum as well.
Oh, she's loopy.
Because she's got it throughout her family.
Yeah, and I'm going
So in about 3 years, 4 years, Mum won't know who you are. Do you realise that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay. We've all got to be careful with that. You know?
Yeah, I'm going to fucking be like, no, you pay me. You pay me money. Okay, can I go on to something?
No, I just want to, just over there, I see the map of the world.
Yeah.
And Pat, I just remember seeing a bit of the podcast last time. You knew the map of the world well, didn't you?
Yeah, so I did. Geography wasn't my strong point.
Yeah.
Never was, never has been.
Right.
Never
Did you
care for it
fail a
to
test
be.
in geography?
Yes, I did. If you don't want to know a story, but I've told it on the podcast, actually. There's no point. I've already told it.
Can I just... I'm going to hijack this.
Yeah, please.
So I went to the mechanics about a month and a half ago.
Oh, did you go today?
Listen.
Right.
I went to the mechanics about a month and a half ago to get my car fixed. And the issue with the car was that it was an electrical issue, they say. And because my car's a manual, sometimes they have you seen the light where it looks like your car is skidding out of control? So that light comes up. Sometimes we see it. What that does is it actually slows the acceleration of your car so that you can't speed through the water and lose control. So it locked my car at a maximum pace of about 1 rev per billion things. And because I'm in a manual, my car would just keep stalling. It wouldn't give me enough acceleration power, and I'd always stall, and it was locked. So I go to the mechanic, get it fixed. Month and a half later, which is where we're at now, the exact same issue happens. I'm under the impression that I should be able to walk into that mechanic and go, hey guys, sorry, you didn't actually fix it. Here's my car. I'm not paying a cent. See you later. Let me know when it's done. Let me know when you've done your job. What do you guys think of that?
Well, can I start by going through your car history before we do that?
You love a bit of history.
So I was a very generous father, and when you got your P's at 17, I bought you a brand new BMW.
It wasn't brand new. It was from 1997.
Well, it was still a BMW.
Yeah, it was. You spent $3,000 on it.
Three grand. I think it was more than that.
It was $3,000.
Anyway, this is a classic story because what happened was William did not look after that car at all, to the point that this is the best story. It was ready to be scrapped after it. The guy, it was one owner, he'd looked after it really well, really old guy, really smart car. it looked like a fucking different car within a month of William owning it. It had rips all over the interior. It was just
The roof
shit
was falling
everywhere.
in.
The roof was falling in. The car didn't start working. And then anyway, after about 2 years, I said, William, I think we're going to need to dump this car.
Yeah.
And what happens? We get a letter in the post saying they're recalling all BMWs from that year. And if you take it to a BMW dealer, they will pay you market value for it. So a car that was worth $500, we got like $6,000 for.
Pretty good.
But
Now, so that
I took
car
it
he
to a
ruined.
farm and did donuts and destroyed it.
yeah, we fucked that car up in Manana.
Yeah, and I got lost.
We took it to Jump Rock. You know Jump Rock at Manana?
Yeah.
We took the BMW
Drove
there.
through the
Yeah,
lake.
so there you go. Then you bought a brand new Audi thinking you
No,
wanted to be...
then I got a
Brand
Volkswagen
new.
manual.
Well, that was a great car
Great
that
car.
I bought you.
Yeah, $9,000.
$9,000. That ended up after, depreciation on cars is meant to be 3 or 4 years. With William, I'd say be 6 months fully depreciated because you can't look after cars.
Anyway, I sold that car and bought an Audi, which was the worst decision of my life. That cost $16,500.
Yeah, and I helped you pay about $20,000 to fix it.
Yes, no.
So
$20,000.
overall, it cost you about $50,000. That car.
Jesus.
And then I sold it and got this car. Beautiful Nissan
Also
Pulsar.
a shitbox.
No, it's a great car.
It's not. It's in the mechanic all the time.
It is.
Just buy a fucking Toyota, bruh.
Or I
Told
get
you
better
so many
mechanics.
times. Just buy a
Bruh.
Toyota.
You said, bro,
His name's William, not Bra, mate.
it's a Nissan Pulsar, you fuckwit. You're the one that fucking told me to buy it, you stupid
No, I didn't,
fuck.
cunt.
I
I
was
said
gonna
buy
get a
a
Mini
fucking
Cooper.
Toyota. Even more fucking dumb, a mini fucking Cooper.
And then you said
think
just
are?
buy a Nissan, mate.
I said buy a Toyota.
Kyle, Google are Nissan Pulsars the most reliable car?
Toyotas are the most reliable cars.
Say most reliable cars. Google it.
I think Toyotas are more reliable.
It's Toyotas. I told you to buy a Toyota.
Except if someone backs into your car door.
Unless someone fucks it. Unless someone royally fucks it.
But
Do you know where Kyle's from?
what do you mean?
Do you know where Kyle's from?
His heritage.
Well, he's got a bit of Asian.
Yeah,
Why?
but do you know
what
where he's
makes
from?
you say that?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, all right, let's have a look.
So,
Ford? It's not Ford, mate.
Keep going.
no,
Toyota.
Yeah, it's in fucking alphabetical order.
Hyundai.
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 Good point.
So, William, what was the end
Toyota
result?
number
What
one.
did they say today about your car? Have they fixed it?
I just missed a call from what I believe is the mechanic.
Right. Well, you've got to
mechanic.
pay for it.
That's fucked.
You've got to...
It is
Yeah, can I
bullshit.
call
If
them back?
That's like if I go in for a fucking surgery to the doctor and they fuck it.
No,
It's
you've got to
free the
pay
next
for it. It's
time.
their time. I mean, people have to earn an honest living. Some people actually get up before 6 o'clock.
Don't call back now. Why do you do this again?
Fuck. So do I call Joe and just say, what do I say to
You
Joe?
don't call the mechanic right now while
Yeah,
we're
but what if
recording.
I miss it?
You'll be right.
Well, you fucking call them back after, bro. You can't just
I'll
call
drop
the
you there in
mechanic.
the morning early.
Fuck. I
So
need it.
you have to get... The problem is with you guys, most people have jobs that allow them... that they get up before 7 o'clock.
We're going to do the hotlines.
Yeah, we're going to do the hotlines.
So put your headphones on. Good boy.
Is that it?
No, you got to put your headphones on.
We're going to listen to people who've called in.
Yeah.
What do you mean they've called in?
They've called. They say they can call in, but it's not live.
So they've left us voice messages
Left
and we
us a
need
voice message.
we're going to listen to them.
What are you talking about?
Just fucking,
Just
you'll
fucking
see,
put
mate.
your
This has already gone on.
Yeah, these are pre-recorded, so people just call anytime they want. Then
And
we
how
listen.
long are we doing? How much longer have I got?
Not longer, mate. You got another 25 minutes.
Not even. You don't have
check
to
my
be
phone.
here for the
Can I just
Patreon
check
if
my
you don't
phone?
want.
Yeah, because I need a fucking lift home, mate.
Fellas, I've started a new job.
Okay.
My boss has gone to me and has said that I am working on my ex's house gardening. What do I do? Do I bail out of the job or do I pursue with the task of going through with it?
You stay with the job, I reckon.
Dad,
What was that?
what do you think?
He's started a new job gardening, and the first project is at his ex's house. Does he quit the job or does he stick to it?
Oh, it depends the relationship with the ex, I think.
Yeah,
I think if the ex is going to come out and give him physical abuse, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I wouldn't let your ex get in the way of your job.
No, but she might abuse him physically. On the
She
job.
might, yeah. Well,
She could come and cut his head off. Then he won't be doing any other job. So
Oh my God.
quit your job then. Quit your job.
Hey, Pat and Will, this is the second message I'm leaving because the first one I was so nervous that someone would hear me. But I went on a school trip with this girl that I didn't really know that well. We went to school together for till graduation, and then after this trip, we spent 2 weeks together in Cambodia, and I come home and I found out she was my third cousin. You know what that means? We shared the same great-great-grandmother. I think that's pretty grim. People made fun of me for liking my third cousin. It's not worth the social shame you think it's not worth it, Will, especially with your anxiety. And fuck Kyle, he'd be my bottom at the human centipede. Bye.
So, Dad, we were saying if you were getting with someone and you found out that you were related to them, what's the closest relation that you wouldn't care? I said third cousin, I wouldn't care because I don't even know who my third cousin is.
I think growing up, a lot of people, depends what state you're from.
Okay, let me simplify it for you, Jeremy.
No, I understand.
He
You're
understands
22
it.
and you're going out with Danny.
Yeah.
And then it comes back, Danny's your third cousin. Do you break up with her or do you stay
No, I'm
with her?
very comfortable with that.
Okay. Second cousin.
Comfortable.
First cousin.
Not so comfortable.
But depending on what state you might let it slip.
Some people, some states they accept it.
Queensland.
Others,
Move to Canberra.
Tasmania.
Let's do one more.
Morning, Kyle. Will, mate, just thought I'd come on and address some claims that you've sort of made in the last few episodes. You report to have this fucked, autistic level of football knowledge with your player numbers and, oh, he's fucking number 8 and all that sort of shit. But not knowing where Edin Dzeko is from just sort of shows you that you don't fucking know anything about your own favourite sport. So
I'll wear
how
that
about
one.
you just check yourself, mate?
Yeah.
Also, just needed to say that the award for the shittest call from a listener goes to that cunt talking about a pair of pants last week. That was fucked. Anyway,
Yours would be up there.
get fucked, Will. Love you, Pat. See you, Kyle.
No, I'll take that. Edin Dzeko, that was a bad one for me. I knew he was Bosnian. It was just a slip up.
He was the guy. I
like that.
I
That
don't
guy was
even
on to
follow
pick it
the
up.
sport, but wasn't he the former Socceroos captain?
No, he wasn't,
played,
cunt.
Who played for West Ham?
No.
Okay, with the big beard. Who was that guy?
Wrong as fuck, cunt. That
Who
was
was that-
Mile Jedinak,
Right, okay.
and he played for Crystal Palace.
Right,
And he wore number 15.
I think he played for West Ham as well.
Nope.
Okay.
That was it. That's it.
So
Jeremy?
now-
I'd like to
That's it.
thank you
Thank you.
coming on the podcast. We're now going to go into the bonus part of the episode.
Right, how long do I have to stay here for?
About another 4 hours. Love
you
you
don't have
guys.
to do it if
Bye.
you don't want, but I need to lift home.